Good morning everyone, this is George Bayruthi giving you the overnight report on Monday morning 20th of October. FS Securities is a stockbroking firm. We are located on the Gold Coast in Queensland, Australia, and I intend to give you more information about the company later in this presentation. But let me start with the disclaimer. Everything I say here is for general advice and general information only. Before you take any action, please consult with your professional advisor or talk to us directly. A copy of this disclaimer is available to you should you wish to receive it. All you have to do is call the office. Every morning we present in our market report an editorial or an education article on a specific topic of interest. This morning we cover the Bollinger Bands. It's actually a technical indicator that we use in our technical analysis. Prior to that, we finished a series on how to look at trends and how the use of computers are today used extensively in technical analysis. And before that, we finished a 13-part series on everything you needed to know about options trading, and we covered the Iron Condor strategy that we use extensively here at FS Securities. And even before that, we had quite an extensive article on futures trading. So all you have to do to become a subscriber is go to the website, join us for a 15-day free trial, and if you like what you see and what you read, maybe you can talk to us about membership. Alright, we start with the data. On Saturday morning we saw that Wall Street was up and away by 267 points or 1.6% and finished at 16,380, and the broader S&P 500 index was up by 1.3% and finished at 1,887. However, it has to be noticed that for the full week both indices were down by 1%, and over the last fortnight they were down by 4% despite the 1% rise on Saturday morning. In Europe, the Stoxx 50 index that comprises several European major markets rose 3% to 2,968. However, it's also important to note that the European major market index was down by over 10% over the last several weeks. In London, the FTSE 100 index was up 1.8% on Saturday, actually on Friday night, and finished at 6,310. In Japan, the Nikkei on Friday was down 1.4%, and so is in China. The Shanghai index was down by 0.1%. On the commodities, gold a short time ago was trading at 1,238 US per ounce, and that is steady from this time on Friday. Silver at $17.30, down 10 cents. For the full week, gold was up by 1%, and for the last fortnight it was up by 4%. The ratio of gold to silver is now 71, and this is the highest level in years. The question is silver too cheap now, or in comparison to the price of gold? Or is it that gold too expensive? And that is an important question for us. Oil this morning was at 83 US a barrel, and over the last fortnight oil was down by 7.5%. Copper, the world's economic barometer, was up on Saturday morning by 0.8% at 300 cents per pound. On the currencies, our dollar is now 87.4 US cents, 68.5 euro cents, and these of course are intrabanks rates. On our market on Friday, the ASX 200 index closed 0.3% higher to post its biggest weekly gains in 2 months, as investors snapped up sold down stocks, including the big banks. For the week, however, the benchmark ASX 200 index jumped 1.6% or 83 points to close at 5,272. The best performers amongst the leaders over the full week, Nucleus Mines was up by 3.7%, followed by Woolworths up 3%, and the worst performers, AMP down 1.2%, followed by Bramble and QBE down 1%. Local shares are set to open higher this morning. The SPI futures contract was showing 68 points higher. It seems like the bulls are back. It seems so after Wall Street's second day of advances. And investors appear eager to take advantage of a sudden drop in valuations of the stocks. In terms of announcements, and overnight, and from we start every morning with giving our subscribers an indication about the various announcements that can affect the market. And one important announcement tomorrow, if coming from China, the GDP figures quarter by quarter and year on year will be important to actually see how China is moving forward. During the week, our analyst here at FS Securities places several stocks for picks and trades. This is only a summary of the positions. A more detailed information is placed on the website under our picks and trades menus. If you wish to discuss any of these stocks, you may wish to call us directly or visit our website. Every day we update the market volume to show the trend over the last 3 weeks. We also like to show the ratio of advances to declines. It really shows the strength of the momentum and how the buyers and the sellers interact. I believe this is one of many ways to understand the trend of the market. Again, this chart is available on our market report that we send to our subscribers daily, and we place as well on the website. And what you can see now is that the volume has been dropping, and even though the last couple of days, Friday and Thursday, we had more advances than declines, albeit at lower volume. So that tells you that there are certain bargain hunting. However, a lot of investors, especially the big fund managers, are still sitting on the sidelines. Alright, we also like to give you a snapshot of the top 10 performing companies and the 10 worst performing. On the top of the list we have Linus, up 11.6%, but it's important to note that has been hammered for the last several weeks. It's only a small recovery of a major drop in Linus, as it failed at one stage to seek finance, and they're out to the shareholders trying to get more money from them. So you can see the list. Transfield Services up 4.9% and so on. On the negative side, BC Iron was down 6%, Bidel Resources 4.3%. If any of these companies come to your interest, all you have to do is call the office for more information. We believe it is important to understand which sector is performing well when the market overall is heading the other way. This may give you an indication that the sector is receiving support from traders and investors. Again, once we identified the best performing sector, then we can search of the stock within this sector that provides some attraction. On Friday, the best performing sector on the screen, you can see that was the property was up 0.3%, and gold, the best was actually the information technology, followed by property, and the financials also was good. The worst performing sector was telecommunication, down 0.5%, followed by utilities. On the weekend, we like to give you also a snapshot of what happened over the last 2 weeks. It gives you a better understanding on how the trend is moving over, not just over 1 day or 1 week, but over 2 weeks. I mentioned that the Dow Jones was down nearly 4% over the last 2 weeks, and so was the S&P 500. The VIX, which is the volatility index, we call it the fee gauge, was up 51% over the last fortnight. There has been some jittery time over the last 2 weeks. Even though we had a major recovery last Friday, we can still see that over the last 2 weeks there's been a major jump in the VIX, which could be a signal that the market was actually trending downward and the investors were actually fearful. Also, what we like to watch as well is the ratio of put-call ratio, the number of put options versus number of call options. And that has dropped slightly below 1, which means for every 1 call options there is 0.99 put option. So it's almost even at the moment. A week before there were slightly more puts than call options. So that's also another gauge that we like to watch. I mentioned that gold was up 4% over the last 2 weeks. Silver was up 2.5%. Crude oil was down 7%, and so was natural gas and also wheat was up nearly 7%, and so is corn. Coffee continues to go higher and higher. However, last week we've seen 4% drop. Over the last 2 weeks, coffee was up 2%. Now we go to the Australian market, and we start with the sectors over the last 2 weeks. We look at the fourth column here in the middle, and looking at the highest positive number was actually the utilities. That was up by 0.6%, and property was up by 1%, 0.1% over the last 2 weeks. But most sectors were down over the last 2 weeks, despite the good performance on Friday and Thursday. On the negative side, looking for the biggest number down in this column, we note that information technology was down 3.3%, as well as gold 3.7%, followed by industrial 2.3%. In terms of the companies that we like to trade, looking at the last 2 week performance, the blue indicates that they are uprise. Red means on the downside. The largest percentage on the blue section was actually Westpac. Westpac was up by 1.6% over the last 2 weeks, followed by Rio Tinto and Bramble, close enough to 1%. And Woolworths had a good rise over the last 2 weeks. On the negative side, the largest number that I can see here is QBE, was down nearly 7%, followed by Santos, down 6%. AMP was down by 5.5% over the last 2 weeks. Finally, we like to give you the ex-dividends. That's the date when, if you're entitled to having the dividends, that's the day that you intend to get them. Of this list, we can see that Harvey Norman, with 100% franking, is giving you 8 cents on the 30th of October. That's coming up. Alright, again, information that we believe is essential to keep abreast of what's going on. Okay, let me finish off now. I'm telling you, my name is George Beiruthi. I'm the director here at FS Securities. As you can see, I have many years of trading and investment experience and several qualifications to support what I offer my clients. My ambition today is to help our clients and prospective clients to become effective investors and traders. Now, a bit more about our company. We are fully licensed. We are located on the Gold Coast. We trade shares, options, commodities, CFDs, foreign exchange, and offer our clients a very attractive investment at 7% over 1 year, interest paid monthly, or you can go for 3 years at 9% per annum, and that interest is paid monthly. Also, we are financial planners and cater for all your financial needs. Now, how to reach us? You can call us on our landline, 61 for Australia, 7 for Queensland, 5630-4141. That's our landline number. Alternatively, you can call my mobile. I am available to be reached 7 days a week. And you can write to me at george@fssecurities.com.au, or, as I mentioned before, why don't you actually register now for the 15-day free trial on the website, and you can see all our daily recommendations, daily scans, current trading positions and results. So you will also see our tutorials, education webinars, many charts, and a lot of information. So that's finally from us. We'll be back at 1:15 this afternoon to tell you what happened to our major stocks, and that will be at 1:15 recorded and placed on the website. So have a nice day, and I'll speak to you later.